for now, we want to move over to the Midwest and the Lax Records Midwest contributor, Michael Ward. He has been an extraordinarily busy man. He's been all over the country. He's visited teams in Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, where he lives. He's seen teams from Illinois and all those other states. So he has been around in an early part of the season, considering the Midwest has only been playing for at least a couple weeks. So for this week's episode, we want to kind of kick it over to Michael and let him tell us about some of the teams, some of the players that he's seen, and who's impressed so far.
I started the weekend in Michigan at Carmel, Forest Hill Central.
Mm-hmm.
That was on Saturday.
Yeah.
So on Saturday was Forest Hill Central, which is in Michigan, which is the runner-up in Division II in Michigan. They are loaded. They're loaded. It's a loaded team. They have a ton of talent. So it was there, or I was looking at going to see Brother Rice versus St. Ignatius.
Yeah.
Of Cleveland. So again, using Twitter, using this wonderful thing that, for a 50-year-old guy like me, all of a sudden I'm on social media. I put, which game should I go to? And the Carmel Forest Hills game got the most votes.
Yeah.
So I went there. Now, coincidentally, I live in Carmel, so I knew pretty much all the players.
Yeah.
And, and I knew a bunch of parents from Forest Hills. So got in the car, went up there, cold day, but game started off. Now I knew it would probably get a little chippy.
Yeah.
They played last year. A lot of kids know each other because a lot of kids play travel ball together. So there might've been a little talking, a little gamesmanship, but, it started out and it was a back and forth game. Wasn't the cleanest, wasn't the sharpest game. I think Forest Hills was coming off a game a couple days ago. Carmel played the night before. The overreaching thing that I've noticed in this week is teams aren't so sharp. It's early still.
Yeah,
like Michigan just started.
Yeah.
So and I think it was Carmel's fourth game, but one of those games was against Culver. So I mean that's just
right.
Like taking abuse. So it was a good game. Started off good. And then Tate Halleck, who is an All-American, midi from Forest Hill Central. He is going to Michigan State as a football player.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty athletic. I think
that tells you about all you need to know.
I think his two brothers or brother or father or uncle, they've all played football at Michigan State. It's a Michigan State family.
Yeah.
He sort of took over. Now, that's not to take away anything from Jackson Clay, who's Bryce Clay's brother.
Yeah.
Who, as you've mentioned before, he might be one of the top freshmen in the country at Michigan.
Yeah.
He's lightning fast. Well, his brother's like the same way.
Okay.
So he was dishing, dashing, running through people. It was a nice game. And then Tate Halleck scores 5 goals in the first half.
Yeah.
Let's say it devolved after there. It got chippy. It got ugly, but I like, it wasn't anything where I was like, clutching my pearls. I was just like, this is what happens. These are two tough teams fighting.
Right.
In the end, Carmel lost 19-10, which is a big score. I mean, this isn't like a pushover. Like Carmel's no pushover.
Right.
I mean, they're gonna beat up on some people.
Yeah.
For that score was an eye opener because I've put Forest Hills in my personal ranking.
Yeah.
Forest Hills is the top 3 school in Michigan.
Yeah.
Regardless, up until that point, I was saying it could be Brother Rice, it could be Detroit Catholic Central, it could be Forest Hills, maybe East Grand Rapids, Rockford, whatever. But it was those 3. At the same time, when I was watching Carmel, Brother Rice was throttling St. Ignatius of Cleveland, who was the state runner-up there last year, who some people thought would be the best team in Ohio this year.
Yeah.
Brother Rice beat them 18-8. And that was their first game.
Yeah, that was a big score.
Big score. So now I have to sit there and think, okay, is Brother Rice that good? Is St. Ignatius having a down year? These are all the things when you have interstate play and you talk to teams and you talk to coaches and you talk to players and you hear this and that. So that brings me to my next game, which in the Midwest, it's probably one of the biggest games you could see.
Yeah.
Brother Rice, Detroit Catholic Central. That's the. I mean, there are a few heavyweight games. Loyola New Trier,
Mm-hmm.
Brother Rice, Catholic Central. Depending on where you are in Ohio, there's they could have four different big ones each
Right.
year. It might change. I think there's going to be. I think Moeller Xavier's a big one. I think the state championship big one. But when you think the big ones, New
Right.
Trier, Loyola, Brother Rice, Catholic Central.
Yeah.
So I went there. Now, for people who don't know, Brother Rice has won 14 state championships in a row. They've won 24 out of the last 26. Last year, they did not win the state championship.
Yeah,
they lost.
That 14 was before last year.
Right, before last year. So coming into this game, Detroit Catholic Central was the defending champion. Brother Rice was the runner-up this year.
Yeah.
So that added to the storyline. Now, I kept thinking back, was the 18-8 over St. Ignatius, was that a statement? Were they coming out letting everyone know?
Right.
Well, I can say now I think it was a statement because Brother Rice came out, and it's not like Catholic Central is loaded too. I mean, that field was loaded with college players.
Yeah.
I mean, loaded. But it just seemed like it looked like a boys and men situation. It just seemed like, I don't know if it became the perception. It just seemed like the Brother Rice people were bigger and faster and just got to everything.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, the Catholic Central goalie, Johnny Shea, made 15 saves.
Yeah.
He only played for the third quarter.
Yeah.
Brother Rice scored 16 goals. He made 15 saves. He made 4 saves in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. That's
like, and not just like, this is a piece of, bubble gum getting thrown at you. Low to high missiles, high to low. Like, I was writing down in the first 3 minutes, this kid's the player of the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's, but then it just kept coming. It just kept coming, and they finally broke it down. Justin Glad, who he is going D1. I forgot where I left all my notes in the press box up there because it did get really cold. He's a Division I player. He scored 6 goals.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I worry what they're going to do to other teams. If they play like that, I mean, I don't know if they're always going to be, but I'm sure Coach Chala will keep them that fired up.